In question 9, we're given the following table shown here, and we're asked to work out which of the following rows, A through F, shows the state of the heart when it pumps blood to the lungs. So, what we should do in this question, first of all, is establish some very basic facts which allows us to eliminate many of the options A through F. So firstly, we can see that in our table we have both the left side of the heart and the relevant valves, and the right side of the heart and the associated valves. The thing to remember, of course, is that the left side of the heart and the right side of the heart don't have their own autonomous sinus rhythm generators, i.e. pacemakers. We should remember that the atrial and ventricular contractions are controlled by a wave of excitation which start at the sinoatrial node within the atria, and then it spreads to the ventricles. So, rather than the left and the right hand side of the heart pumping independently, they'll actually be pumping in unison. So, when the atria contract on the left side of the heart, likewise they should be contracting on the right side of the heart, and the same goes for the ventricles. Therefore, the valves, which are open or closed on the left side of the heart at any particular time, should be equally mirrored on the right side of the heart, since the same processes are happening, only on different sides. So, we can immediately eliminate almost all of our rows apart from B and E, since they show different patterns of valves being open or closed between the two different sides of the heart, when they should in fact be the same. We can see in the case of B, and indeed in the case of E, that they are the same. Now we need to work out which of these is correct. So, in order to help you visualise this, I've drawn a quick diagram representing the different chambers of the heart. So we have the right atria, left atrium, right ventricle, left ventricle. We have our valves, which I've modelled as different doors in between the different chambers, and we have our outflow vessels, which we should remember. Of course, the right atrium receives the vena cava, the right ventricle pumps to the pulmonary artery, which is what's being asked, blood being pumped to the lungs, which is the pulmonary artery, and we have the pulmonary vein draining into the left atrium, and the left ventricle draining into the aorta, which supplies the rest of the body. So, when this process is happening, when blood is being pumped from the right ventricle to the lungs via the pulmonary artery, what you have to do is generate a lot of pressure within the ventricles, which will force blood into the pulmonary artery. So in this process of generation of pressure within the ventricles, of course, we must prevent any backflow into the atria. The same goes for the left and the right sides of the heart. So while generating pressure, the AV valves, the atrioventricular valves, must be closed to prevent backflow. So we can bear that in mind. Our AV valves must be closed. So we can move on to our semilunar valves. Since blood is leaving the ventricles into our pulmonary artery, our semilunar valves on both sides must be open to allow blood to flow through. So we have our answer, which is that the AV valves must be closed and the semilunar valves must be open, and that eliminates option E and leaves us with our answer, option B. AV valves closed, semilunar valves open in both cases, and our answer is going to be option B.